Hello, my name is Megan Martin, and today I'm going to be teaching you William Shakespeare's Twelfth Night through the use of the six thinking hats, as you can see here. Viola and her brother Sebastian are in a shipwreck and they get separated, and Viola disguises herself as a boy named Cesario, and she becomes the page for the Duke Orsino. And the Duke Orsino is madly in love with Olivia, who is a countess, and he sends Viola to go vie for her affections, even though Viola falls in love with the Duke. And so whenever Viola goes to meet Olivia, Olivia ends up falling for Cesario instead of the Duke, which is still Viola. And so now we have this love triangle that's going on. And then meanwhile, Sebastian has survived the shipwreck, and he gets to where Viola is and is being mistaken for Cesario, which causes complications for him. And then in the big climax of the story, they both end up together at the same time, and everyone sees them together and realizes that they can't be the same person. And so all the identities are revealed, and Viola ends up with Orsino, and Sebastian ends up with Olivia, and it's a big happily ever after for all of them. And then, also under the white hat, would be the characters, which for that we can use a character concept map, that you can see here, which has all of the characters from 12th Night, which we would have the students do this on their own, of course. I went ahead and did one, just for an example. I have Viola and Cesario, which, because whenever she becomes a boy, her name is Cesario. And then up here I have a small little description, which it says Sebastian's twin sister disguises herself as a boy, loves Orsino. Just, the basic premise of the character, which, especially in a story like this with so many subplots and interacting characters, it's really easy to get confused. So something like this could really help students keep track of what they're doing and who's who and who's doing what. The white hat, when used with the Six Thinking project, would be used to describe the plot and to describe the characters. So for the plot, they would just write out the plot of the story and everything, and you can choose whether you want them to focus on just the main plot or the little subplots that go on with this particular story. But then for the characters, you could use something like this. This is a concept map to follow all the characters, because especially with this play in particular, there are so many different characters running around and doing different things, and it's easy to get people mixed up. So this would be really helpful for the students to keep track of who's who and who's doing what. So in the Six Thinking Hat strategies, the blue hat is for method and planning and things like that. So in regards to this assignment, it would be mapping out the action of the story. And so you could have the students make a map like this, where you have the exposition, the conflict, rising action, climax, falling action, and conclusion. And so just for my example of it, which once again, this is just the regular plot, not the little subplots that are going on also. But the initial situation is that Viola survives a shipwreck and she disguises herself as a boy. And then the conflict would be the love triangle that ends up forming. The rising action is whenever you add in Sebastian, because then it complicates things even more. And then the climax is whenever Viola and Sebastian end up together at the same time and all the identities are revealed. calling action would be Olivia falling for Sebastian, and then Orsino falling for Viola, and then the conclusion is the big happily ever after that they all get. So you could make your students a chart like this for the blue hat, and they can map out the story on their own. The black hat represents more negative things having to do with whatever you're teaching with the six thinking hat strategy. So for this, it would be the conflicts in the story. And so, for example, the love triangle that's going on, Sebastian being accused of things because people think that he's Cesario, and then there's lots of other conflicts within the subplot and things like that. So this could be done with a journal prompt, or it could be a worksheet, or any method that you feel like giving it to the students. Yellow hat is for, as in contrast to black hat, it's the more positive things. And so for this kind of an assignment, you could have the students tell you what their favorite part of the story was. And which this also helps the students because, they're thinking more about the story and they're relating to the story and everything. So it helps them to just get it in their head and make it personal to them. And so you could just have, once again, it could be a journal prompt, it could be like an essay question, it could be a worksheet, just something of that nature. The red hat deals with emotions and things like that and of that nature. So in regards to this, it would be used to have the students, they could write about which character they find more likable or which one they're more relatable to and things like that, which it seems kind of like a fluff thing, but if they're relating to the story, then they're more interested in the story, they'll want to delve deeper into the story, and so this can be kind of a way in to help them be more interested in what they're doing. The last hat is the green hat, which the green hat represents creativity. And so there are lots of things you could do with this one. You could have them cast the show with who they think should play what roles and everything, which that's actually very helpful to them because it seems like a fun assignment because it is. But it also helps them to get more of a picture in their head of who the characters are and what the characters look like and things like that. But I think that what an even better way to use this hat for is to have the students act out one of the scenes from the play, because especially with Shakespeare, we can read it all day, but it wasn't meant to be read. They're supposed to be watched, they're supposed to be heard, and everything, so I think it would almost be more helpful if the students could see what they were reading instead of just reading it. And you can see an example of that in the storytelling assignment that I've uploaded with this. So that's how you can explore Twelfth Night by William Shakespeare with the six thinking hats. And I hope that this is something that you think would be effective with your students and would be helpful in your classroom. Thank you.